do we take the pills and the drugs and the
Well,
herbs?
well,
to get a relief,
it's
to
to
get a
relieve
relief,
the
symptom.
condition.
What kind of relief?
Temporary.
Temporary, which sets you up for a visit to the surgeon.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's all. Why would anybody do that? Because they're deceived.
yeah.
They don't
Yeah,
understand.
yeah, absolutely. I agree
So-
with that.
So what we want to do is, we want to focus on
The root
finding
cause.
out the root cause,
Yeah.
the basic fundamental underlying reason
Mhm.
why the body is failing.
Yeah.
If we don't get to the cause, then we're deceived, and then the consequence is going to be what?
Yeah.
It's going to be much larger.
Yeah.
Yeah, like death.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, I don't mind where I'll be, you know, but it's just the process of getting there
Yeah.
sometimes.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's go ahead and take one look at this right here. Here's your brain, here's your spinal cord, here are the wires, and inside of this wire, this is called a nerve, inside of the wire is the life force. And when the bone leans on the nerve, something happens. What happens? Interference of what? Of the life force. And if the life force is interfered, then do we have a consequence?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Everything
But the
is-
problem with the consequence, again, is you won't know the consequence until you know.
Yeah.
And then when you know, you're going to say the 5 words, maybe it will go.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What about your disc?
Yeah. So, a bulging disc just means the disc is bulging.
Oh, that's about
Yeah, the bulging, the discs bulge because the vertebra's out of place. So what do? We find out where the subluxation is, where the misaligned vertebra is, and we put it back in place. We take the pressure off the disc, take the pressure off the nerve, release the life force, and the body can
Yeah,
what?
see, there you go.
And the body-
That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah,
with my
because what
friend.
happens is people have surgery for bulging herniations. I have 3 herniations, which is much worse than a bulging. And people have surgery for that.
Yeah.
And then get this, they have surgery, they cut the disc out, and guess what they do with the vertebra out of place? They leave it out of place. What happens 3 to 5 years later?
Same thing.
Oh,
They get worse because now they have scar tissue, and now
Yeah.
that somebody intervened unnaturally, and now there's a consequence again. Does that make sense?
They need to hear this.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they need to
So,
hear
so let's take a look at this as we move forward and learn more about how we're going to be part of the solution. The book of Ecclesiastes, written by Solomon, says, well, the silver cord will be loosed, and what is the silver cord? The spinal cord. What is the
Yeah.
silver cord?
this.
The spinal cord. Or the golden bowl will be broken. What's the golden bowl?
The brain.
The brain. And then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return to God who gave it. So we know, no matter what we believe in or not today, we know that if I take one of my hens and I snap the hen's neck, the life force will decrease in the hen, and I get to have chicken soup. We know if you break your spine anywhere, let's say right here, if you break your spine right here in a pediatric spine, if you break the spine, the life force stops from where? From above,
Brain.
from above,
to that point.
down to that point. And then everything below that point, the liver, the pancreas, the male sex organs, the female sex organs, the bladder. People want to know where fibromyalgia comes from. They want to know where premenstrual syndrome comes from. They want to know where bladder infections come from. Why Crohn's disease, diverticulitis, diverticulosis, colon cancer. They want to know why their kidneys are failing. They want to know why they can't digest the sugars properly. They want to know why they got numbness and tingling down their arms and their legs. Well, in this case, the legs, and why the lower back hurts. There's pressure in the brake. And we've got to realign that brake very delicately so we can take the pressure off the brainstem, which means taking the pressure off the brain and allowing the life force to express, flow. Exactly. And so this is an example of compensation. You all heard about curvature of the spine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we've got a head tilt, a shoulder tilt, a pelvic tilt. Look, see, once the head tilts, look at the head. Once the head tilts, what do my hips have to do?
Yeah.
They got to compensate.
Yeah.
And so when we see these children that come here, 5, 8, 10, 12 years old, and you were all children at one time, and they have this distortion in their spine.
And they they give them a back brace.
Well, yeah, so this is what they say. They say, nothing's really wrong, there's nothing we can do, but we'll give you a back brace, which will allow it to get worse, and then when it gets worse, let us know, and we'll go ahead and we can do something. So they're allowing you to make a decision and a choice to allow it to get worse without proactively changing anything, which is what?
Wrong.
Wrong. Very good. And so the subluxation is this. This is a normal vertebra, this is the spinal cord, and this is a nerve. the bone moves out of place, it leans on the nerve. Look at the different color of that nerve interference right there. That is nerve interference right here. And now, whatever's at the end of that nerve is getting less of the life force. So there's going to be a consequence to that. And part of the body is going to what? D-I-E. What's that spell?
Die.
Yeah, it's going to die. By the time you notice pain, it's because a part of your body is dying or dead. But look what happens to the nerve impulses. Look at this one right here. This controls the prostate gland. You know anybody that has a prostate issue? Yeah. Look at this, reproductive. You know anybody who can't get pregnant or has PMS? You know anybody that has menstrual issues with diarrhea or constipation? You know anybody with numbness in their legs? Do you know anybody with colitis or kidney problems or liver conditions or heart conditions or congestion or numbness and tendon in the arms or hands? Look at this. Headaches. What does the world teach us to do with a headache?
Take pill.
What is taking the pill going to do for taking the pressure off the brainstem? What is the pill going to do to start purifying your blood? What is the pill going to do to start detoxing the parasites and the chemicals out of your body? Nothing. You stay in the same body, and then on top of it, you add poison.
Yeah.
And you want to know why you're just not getting better.
That's right. And it's
Where do you think the high blood pressure comes from? The allergies, the vision issues, the deafness, the hearing issues, the insomnia, the tiredness. It all comes from pressure on the spinal cord.
Okay.
And so this guy gets hit, and he
Yes,
dies. And he
yes.
dies right here. This guy gets hit, and he's paralyzed. What is paralysis? Paralysis is lack of life.
Yeah.
See, if you break the chicken's neck
Break in
here,
the flow.
the break in the flow. Very good. So, if I get the break in the flow here at the chicken dies.
Yeah.
But if my daughter misses the brainstem and she snaps the neck here, the chicken doesn't die.
Yeah.
Why? Because she's away from the brainstem. But now the chicken becomes
Paralyzed.
Paralysis means what? Lack
Lack
of
Life.
Life.